By the end of this video, you're going to deploy real infrastructure to the cloud with a single command. No clicking through consoles. Let's get into it. So first things first, what is Terraform, right? So Terraform is the industry standard tool for making automated infrastructure deployments to cloud platforms, meaning it's a tool that can be used against Azure, AWS, and GCP, and it's the general standard for businesses or enterprise companies deploying infrastructure to the cloud at scale. Now, more specifically, Terraform is an IAC tool. What is IAC? IAC stands for infrastructure as code. Infrastructure as code is basically code that represents what you want your infrastructure to be. So if I said, hey, I want to deploy a singular virtual network, I'm going to write code that represents a virtual network. Thus, I'm going to deploy a virtual network. So if you said, hey, I wanted 100 virtual networks, that's what would happen. That's the concept of infrastructure as code at a foundational level. Now, why is it beneficial to use infrastructure as code? Take that exact same example that I just listed a second ago. If a business decided they needed to deploy 1,000 private virtual networks, they would just write code to represent that and get the deployment. Also, they wouldn't want to do it in a way that isn't consistent and repeatable and something that you can document. Code can be version control. Code can be documented. You also want to have that as part of your deployment strategy so that there isn't any issues with people deploying things in an inconsistent manner and you having resources that aren't identical or up to standard or up to par with whatever the constraints or policy requirements are for the business. Now, how do you get started with Terraform? I'm sure you're watching this video because you have the same question. So here's how you do it. First, you're going to download the tool. It's pretty simple. You're just going to head over and type in Terraform in Google, and you're going to go directly to HashiCorp. So this is the platform that owns the Terraform tool. Based on your operating system and the package manager that you're using, you can choose the various options. Clearly, I'm on a MacBook, so I just ran these two commands to install it to my MacBook. And I just want to do a little validation before we get started here as well too. Just to make sure that the tool is installed, I'm just going to run a command, Terraform version, just to make sure that it's there, and we're going to proceed. But more or less, you just want to install the tool to your machine first. Now, from there, you're going to create a free account on the target platform that you wish to deploy to. As I said before, Terraform is an agnostic tool. It could be used across any cloud platform, Azure, AWS, GCP, Oracle, et cetera, et cetera. So depending on what cloud platform you want to deploy to, you're going to have to get access to that cloud platform. The platform of my choosing for this video is going to be Azure. So if you're going to follow along with Azure, this is what you're going to do. You're going to head over to Google and you're going to type in Azure free account. You're going to create an account, and from there, you'll have everything that you need for you to start building. And of course, depending on which option you choose, you could get a free credit or pay as you go, but you're going to need access to a cloud platform for you to do a cloud deployment, right? Now, once you have your free account, then there's another tool I'm going to advise you to get as well, and it's going to be the CLI for the target cloud platform. This is going to be pivotal in you actually connecting your local Terraform code to the platform that you wish to deploy to. So in this case, since I'm using Azure as my target cloud platform for the deployment, I'm going to want to install the Azure CLI as well. And it's going to be more or less that same methodology, Azure CLI install, right? Based on the operating system that you're choosing, you're going to make the installation. And of course, I'm on a MacBook, so my installation instructions are going to be different. You could even use the recommended steps over here from Gemini, but it's up to you. But once you have it, you're going to do the same thing. So you're going to head over here, type in AZ version, just to make sure that it's there. And it's on my machine, right? Now, from here, this is optional. You don't have to do this, but I recommend it, especially for people that are newer with Terraform or new to code in general. So Visual Studio Code is just a tool that's going to help you literally visualize the code that you're going to be writing and make it a little bit easier. You could technically do everything from terminal, but a lot of people don't like that. I don't even like doing everything from the terminal. So I'm going to advise you install Visual Studio Code, and it's going to be this exact same flow as well too. Visual Studio Code install. And of course, based on your operating system, you're going to choose the one that works for you. You could just choose the very first one and then choose from the operating system that you have available. Now, once you have Visual Studio Code, it's going to look something like this. I'm going to hit new window here. and open a brand new window, because I also want to walk you through the flow that you're going to use to set up your Visual Studio Code so that you can actually run Terraform in a way that's a little bit easier to understand. From here, once you have Visual Studio Code open, you're going to hit this icon, left-hand corner, File, and you're going to hit Open Folder. We want to create a brand new folder for the Terraform code just so we have nothing cluttering us. I mean, some people might be doing this for the first time. I just want to make it as simple as possible. And we're going to make this on the desktop, and we're going to create a brand new folder. And we're just going to type in Terraform test, and we're going to create the folder, and we're going to hit open. So it opens in VS Code. So now we're here. We have an empty folder, empty directory, nothing in it. And we're going to head back over to the steps, right? So now that you have Visual Studio Code, once again, you don't absolutely need it, but I do recommend it. How do I make my first Terraform deployment? It's pretty simple, and a lot of it is readily available to you. So since we're deploying to Azure, we want to get a particular configuration specifically for the Azure Cloud Platform, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to head over to Google as well too, and we're going to type in Terraform Azure. Well, we could type in Azure Terraform instead, because I want to give you this particular output. And we're going to head over to the docs overview specifically from HashiCorp. Now, once again, who is HashiCorp? They're the platform that owns the Terraform tool. And we want to grab the configuration, the first configuration that's even on their docs page specifically for Azure. And it's already pre-written for you. You don't really have to think too much about it at this point, but we're going to run through this a little bit after we copy it. And you're going to hit copy, and then you're going to head back over to Visual Studio Code. You're going to create a brand new file, and we're going to create a main.tf file. We're going to create a main.tf file to represent our Terraform. The .tf means that this file is going to be used by Terraform. The Terraform extension is specifically for this file. And we're going to go ahead and plug in the configuration directly from the HashiCorp site. Now, it has a couple things in here, right? It has the required provider. It has a configuration for a resource group and a virtual network. Now, when you get your Azure account, you're going to have to specify something in this configuration for this to even work. And this is why we downloaded the Azure CLI prior to this, and you'll see. So this configuration is really all you need for you to go ahead and get your configuration or your deployment to the cloud going, right? So now, as we're in Visual Studio Code, what you can do is open terminal in Visual Studio Code. The same way that I opened a terminal on my MacBook here, I'm just going to open the same thing in Visual Studio Code. There's a shortcut for it that's Control-Shift-tilde. That'll just open it up for you. Or you could head over to the top and hit terminal and just hit new terminal. But from here, we more or less opened a terminal in this folder. And if we do a ls to list what's in here, we just have that main.tf file. Now, what we want to do here is we want to use the Azure CLI so that we can log into the cloud platform that we're targeting for our deployment. We're just going to type in the AZ login command. From here, it's going to open up a web browser for you to sign into the cloud platform that you set up your free account for. Depending on your cloud platform is going to be a different command. For Azure, it's AZ login. For Google Cloud, it's gcloud auth login. For AWS, it's a different command. But the point is, you're going to need that CLI tool so that you can actually log into the platform before you make deployments against it. In this case, I'm already logged in, so I don't really have to do this, but I just wanted to show it to you so you understand what will happen there. Now I'm going to do a clear. And once you're logged in, you're also going to need something else. You're going to need your subscription ID. This is going to map to your Terraform configuration. So Terraform knows what subscription that's associated with your cloud platform that it's going to be deploying to. So to get that, you're going to run this command, AZ account show, and it's going to give you a JSON output of the subscription ID you need to plug into your Terraform configuration so it can actually work. And this is the ID right here. So we're going to grab the subscription ID. And then within the provider block right here, we're just going to create another line, and we're going to say subscription underscore ID equals, and then we're going to plug in our subscription ID. That's the only change that we really need to make to this for it to work. And then from here, what we're going to do is actually start running our Terraform commands. So we're going to clear the screen, and then we're going to start with the first command. These commands are, I think, commands that everybody should know at the bare minimum as they're getting started with Terraform. There's other commands and more complex commands, but for the most part, these are the bare bones commands that you absolutely should understand at a fundamental level with the tool. The first one is the Terraform init command. The Terraform init command establishes the backend for Terraform, and more or less it's where Terraform establishes where it's going to store its state. And what is Terraform state? It's Terraform's ledger of what it's managing in terms of the deployment to the cloud platform. The reason Terraform is very, very good, and I call it intelligent, is because it knows what's deployed and it has a ledger of it. So if there's ever any changes made to any infrastructure outside of the tool, Terraform knows and is intelligent enough to say, hey, this thing changed. I want you to make sure that you're aware of it before I make any other changes. But the init command establishes your backend, so Terraform has a working ledger of what's actually going to be deployed and what may or may not be changed based on the tracking of the deployment. Now, second command you want to be understanding of is the Terraform plan command. This is going to be a Terraform output of what is projected to be changed, updated, or destroyed based on the configuration that you've made. So in this case, if we look at the configuration that we grabbed, it's very, very simple, right? It's just a resource group and a single virtual network within that resource group. I'm glad they had comments in here because, I mean, this may look very foreign to some people that are just getting started with the tool, but your Terraform plan is going to print out what is projected to be created, updated, or destroyed by the tool and give you the option to peruse through it and make sure that it's what is expected before you move on to the next and the most important command, the Terraform apply. The Terraform apply more or less does the same thing, but it gives you the option to actually execute the deployment against the platform. The Terraform apply will also give me the same output as the plan so that I can peruse through it again, and then I can choose whether or not I actually want to deploy it to the platform. After, it'll also give you the option to really deploy it to the platform. It'll tell you to enter a value so you can actually deploy or not deploy, and it'll only accept yes if you really do want to deploy it to the platform. So in this case, I do want to deploy it to the platform, so I'm going to hit yes here. And now Terraform is going to do its thing and actually deploy it to the platform. We're going to let this deploy. It's only 2 resources. And if you're watching a Terraform video, you may already be familiar with some of these Azure resources. It's a resource group and a singular VNet within the resource group. So really, we're only deploying 2 things to our existing subscription with our free account. And it's doing it. It should take a couple moments, maybe less than a minute for it to really be deployed, but we'll just let it do its thing for a second. Now, once the resources have been deployed and you can see, hey, these 2 things have been added to the platform, what you're going to do on your end is head over to the Azure portal and validate that what you deployed actually exists in the portal. This is just a standard thing that you're going to do. Even though deployments are done, you still want to validate that they're there. The things that I deployed was a resource group and a virtual network. So I'm going to head over to resource groups. I could either click the icon or I could just head over here. Resource groups. And we're going to look for the one in West Europe. Example resources. And I knew this was West Europe just because of course, the configuration in the code. You can see that if we go back to the code, we can see West Europe right here. And of course, the name of it as well too. But West Europe was the thing that clearly jumped out to me immediately. But now that we've validated that, that's really all it takes to get started with Terraform. Now, what should I do next? Now I know how to make a very bare bones deployment to Terraform with the bare minimum of what I need. What should I be doing next? What I think someone should do next, if they understand this methodology or this flow to get started, is you need to try to understand the cloud platform. Just because now you know how to do the bare minimum of what you need to deploy Terraform to a cloud platform, I'm not saying go down a Terraform rabbit hole, but I think you should understand the cloud platform, actually understand the resources, understand how they interact with each other. Just because you can automate a deployment with Terraform, that's not going to serve you as much if you don't understand how the resources interact that you're deploying with. You need to understand the basic resources, like your resource groups, like your subscriptions, like your management groups, before you start trying to build something extravagant with the tool. Terraform allows you to automate infrastructure at scale. But if you don't understand the infrastructure that you're automating, you're not going to be able to efficiently scale or understand different solutions for you to make those deployments at scale. right? Second thing I think you should try to do is try to make your own custom Terraform deployments. All we did was grab a pre-written configuration that was already made by the platform for us to learn how to use the tool. That's great. If you can work through this and you've worked through this video, that's phenomenal. But it's copying and pasting and understanding the Terraform commands. That's not necessarily the best. You want to try and build your own custom deployments with your own solution that you're trying to solve, right? You don't want to just copy and paste everyone's Terraform code that you find in a public GitHub repository. You want to try and build something on your own so you could really have an understanding of how Terraform can help you build a robust solution that you're trying to solve for specifically. And also, this deployment is very, very basic. You want to try and understand what enterprise grade patterns look like in regard to using Terraform. There's a lot of different ways that businesses can use Terraform or how businesses would use Terraform, but this is very basic. This isn't designed to make you an enterprise Terraform deployment expert, right? It's to get your feet wet, exposed to it, but you want to try and understand what a true enterprise grade Terraform deployment looks like so you can learn, emulate, and try and implement that with some of the solutions that you may craft on your own. But this is what I think you should do next if you're able to get through this. And yeah, hopefully this gave you a little bit of a ledger or a roadmap to follow as you're trying to pick up the tool. If you made it this far in the video, I'm sure you're going to take this information, run with it, iterate through it, and make it better and make it your own. These are the kind of things that we cover to help people get started in my free community. And if you want to build this skill alongside engineers who are already doing it, the link in the description is down below and you can join for free. As always, see you in the next one.